Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and now I'm going to be covering the final round, so the weekend round of the Thanksgiving tournament. This is going to be the Pro Division, holes number 1 through 5. So far, so good. I'm sitting at a -9 on both of my accounts. That's from picking up the eagle on hole number 1, which is really the must eagle if we're going to compete to banner in the tournament, but also pick up the albatross on both of my accounts on hole number 3 as well. The only problem that I've had so far really finding a good consistent shot is going to be on the 2 par 3s that we have. So let's go ahead and start off with hole number 1 here. This is the perfect wind angle. This is as easy as it gets. We're going to play at 20% at max, 2 bars a side spin to the right, combined with 2 bars a top spin. Here, you're going to see all I'm going to do is set it up just like this. I'm putting my red ring almost against the sand line, but not quite. So right here, red ring almost against the sand line, but not quite. Really easy. Make your adjustment, 20% at max. Flip it around. Pull yourself back to max distance of your club. Take your shot. Notice the OP. Notice where the ball of curl is at. It did hit perfect here. You should be okay with minor grades, rights and lefts. But overall, we just slammed this thing up the fairway, getting us for a nice chip-in range here on shot number 2. I didn't want to leave anything to chance on shot number 2 in the final round, so I did play with the slider. This shot is played 20% elevation at 35% slider. Now, the odd thing here is if you're not a slider player and you want to know what to do, you can just offset your shot if you wanted to completely outside of the cup by about, maybe a quarter of a green square, or you could even play it minus 20% at mid. Several different ways to get the exact same number, but for me, I went ahead and played it exact. And you're going to see here, it is the perfect adjustment. As I hit perfect, and I think we dropped this one dead center of the cup. Both accounts worked out that way. And we're off to a good start, heading over to hole number 2. Hole number 2, I could not find any consistency when it comes to getting this ball into the hole or really close to the hole. So I'm going to go 4.5 back with 2 right, and then, I am moving the ball guideline down towards the bottom of the rough here so that my ball guideline becomes flat. Now, the only issue is with the bounce. Sometimes I missed left of the pin. Sometimes I missed right at the pin. I never really came right in at the pin. And it gets very costly when you start going through practice tokens and kingmakers trying to get a shot figured out. I had thought this was going to be the right line here. You can see that with my end of my ball guideline flattened, you can see which green square that it's going through. Yeah, I zoom in a lot to give you just a really good angle and a really good bird's eye view of what I'm looking at. But again, I don't really understand, why I'm struggling so bad on a hole number 2. It's a good wind angle. You would think it would be something that we could get figured out, but it's also been an extremely long day for me as I've been up since about 4, and maybe I'm just getting too tired. But not close on this one. At least it gives you a reference point to start with. If you wanted to copy my spins and my adjustments there, at least you know exactly how that ball played and you can make some minor tweaks. Hole number 3 has been really good, though. We're going to go ahead and go with the Titan ball here. If you're somebody who's had success in pro tournaments, Kingslayer would be a really good option. We're going to go with 6 top, 2 bars a side spin to the right. I'm putting my green inner ring right here on the rough line. Here I make my adjustment. I do not push back up to max. I'd rather just take the controlled overpower shot, which you can see right here. And I do hit perfect, and all we're trying to do is just slam this thing up the second fairway. For me, I like to get yards on the drive. If I wasn't making the YouTube video, I would have gone with more top spin. But on a hole like this, I try to keep myself maxed out at 6 top spin so that anybody playing with an extra mile 8 and an extra mile 9 would be able to copy it. Obviously, extra mile 7 or below players, you need to use a little bit more overpower or a more powerful ball to get into the same type of yardage. But I like to play this one with my short iron. I do go 4 bars of top spin. And you can see here that I just really focus on my green ring at the top of the rough line, and I do make sure my ball guideline is through the hole, just like that. Shot looks good. From here, the shot played extremely consistent, like I said. I hit it here in practice, right? And then I hit it on both of my accounts when it was real mode. So 3 for 3 with perfect balls. So I feel really good about sharing this one here with everybody. I do always try to avoid side spin on this hole. I don't ever play this hole with side spin. There we go, center of pin for the Alba. Hole number 4, pretty frustrating because, you know, in tailwind, this should be a really good opportunity for a hole-in-one with our Goliath. But yet again, I mean, I don't know what my problems are with these par 3s, as they're kind of giving me a challenge here. But here I'm putting, you see my yellow ring fully in the rough at the top of the rough there. Again with the zoom in so that you can see where I'm aiming. This is after spin. So you can see right there exactly where I'm aiming after spin. So again, at least if you wanted to try to tweak this shot, which it does need some tweaking, but it's going to at least give you somewhere where to start. Now, also in tailwind, you know, you could go with a max backspin sniper shot. Very difficult as far as getting the speed right, because with the wind variance with the navigator, unless you're going to use a money ball, sometimes it's going to come in hot, sometimes it's going to come in good. Here, I think we just have a more consistent rollout. We need some more top spin, and we need to change our landing position a little bit more to the left. But now we can go on to this hole. Now, this hole, I am playing aggressive, okay? I had stated, like in my qualifying round, that anytime we get right to left wind push, there's different ways that we can approach the hole. This one, I'm going to go with a big topper. I'm going to utilize the top spin. Now, I do have a big topper level 7. It's a beast, but this shot can be done, to my knowledge, at least starting with the big topper level 3. The reason that I know that is because I have 2 people that I sent the shot to that I know are playing pro with a big topper level 3, and I asked them to give it a try before I post this on YouTube, and they were both able to make it to the second fairway. So the shot should be good for you. 10% at max. Here, we're going to go with 2 bars of side spin to the right, and then we're going to go with basically as much top spin as possible, but keeping those 2 bars of side spin to the left. I'm sorry, I misspoke. 2 bars of side spin to the left. Now, the biggest difference between my, you know, massive big topper here and other big toppers are going to be power and going to be ball guideline. I'm not so much worried about the power or the ball guideline, but just keep in mind your ball guideline may not look the same, because I do have an extended ball guideline with the big topper 7 here. All I'm doing is putting my yellow ring on the rough right here. As you can see, you note here that I'm at the plus 12 yard mark, so it's not like I'm at max distance or anything like that. You can also reference that sand bunker there. Now you're going to notice here it's about going into overpower and curl. The reason that I like this shot is because as long as we land up here on the fairway, we're going to have a really good chance for a rough bump shot to pin for an albatross. Not that it's an easy shot, because we are playing with the Berserker, so the wind is going to be high. As you can see here, I get really bad luck. 8.5 mile per hour wind. That's max that you can get in pro with the Zerk. So that's kind of unfortunate. My mistake here is playing over here by the sand trap. I should actually advise you to move your target to the left-hand side and play more in the rough, because here I end up pulling into the sand, and I almost clip the sand. I mean, I still make it onto the green. I still pick up the eagle on both accounts. No big deal. But, you know, almost a 2 mile per hour difference between this account and my other account. So I'm only showing this one because this is the most brutal wind that you can get. And I'll show you how close that we come. But we're still fine. But again, if I was redoing this all over again, I would be playing more left-hand side of the rough and staying away from that sand trap. But you can see here, we easily putt in for an eagle. All right. That's probably it for me today. I woke up extremely early, had a sort of a, you know, kind of busy day at work. I'm going to call it a day here and then release the rest of Pro tomorrow. I wish you all the best of luck. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. If you'd like to support my channel, my time, and all that kind of stuff that goes into this, you can via the PayPal link in the comments section below. Anything that comes through is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, everybody.